Living next to Brenda was like living next to a sentient security camera with a bad haircut. Brenda wasn't just my neighbor. She was the self-appointed president of our homeowners association, a title she wore like a crown. She patrolled the neighborhood with a ruler in her hand, measuring grass height and checking for unauthorized garden gnomes. Our war began on a Tuesday. I received a certified letter in the mail, a $500 fine for failure to maintain landscaping. The citation claimed my grass was 3.5 inches tall, while the HOA maximum was 3 inches. Attached was a blurry photo of a ruler stuck in my lawn, taken by Brenda while I was at work. I tried to reason with her. "Brenda, it rained all week. I couldn't mow it without destroying the turf." She just smirked, leaning against her pristine white fence. "Rules are rules, David. If we let you slide, the whole neighborhood turns into a jungle. Pay the fine, or I'll place a lien on your property." Her arrogance was suffocating. She truly believed she was untouchable. But Brenda was distracted. She was in the middle of her own massive project, a luxurious, in-ground, heated swimming pool and a sprawling stone patio in her backyard. It was going to be the envy of the neighborhood. For weeks, I endured the noise of excavators and cement trucks starting at 7 a.m. I watched as they dug a massive hole, poured tons of concrete, and installed expensive travertine tiles. Brenda stood there every day directing the workers like a general, bragging to anyone who walked by about her resort-style oasis. However, watching the construction, I noticed something odd. The pool deck seemed to extend very close to the tree line that separated our properties. Too close. I went inside and pulled up the county's GIS maps on my computer. I'm a civil engineer, so reading survey maps is my bread and butter. I overlaid the property lines with the utility easements. My jaw dropped. There is a strict city ordinance, not an HOA rule, but a law, requiring a 10-foot setback from the property line for any permanent structure. Furthermore, there was a 15-foot municipal drainage easement running along the back of our lots. This is a protected strip of land where the city has buried pipes to manage stormwater. You cannot build anything permanent on top of an easement. Brenda's new pool deck wasn't just encroaching on the setback, it was sitting directly on top of the city's drainage pipes. I could have told her immediately. I could have stopped the pour. But I remembered the $500 fine for my grass. I remembered her smirk. So I waited. I waited until the pool was filled with water. I waited until the expensive landscaping was planted. I waited until she hosted her inaugural pool party for the other HOA board members, clinking glasses of wine on her illegal patio. The next morning, I didn't call the HOA. I called the City Code Enforcement Department. I specifically asked for Officer Miller, a man known in the industry as the bulldozer for his lack of patience with zoning violations. I believe there's a structure on 14 Oak Street that obstructs a municipal drainage easement, and I don't believe a permit ever was pulled. Officer Miller arrived 2 hours later with a laser measure and a very grumpy expression. Brenda came running out in her rowboat, screaming, "Get off my property! I'm the HOA president!" "I don't care if you're the Queen of England," Miller replied, handing her a pink citation. "You built a permanent structure on a city easement, and you never filed for a permit." The verdict was brutal. The city didn't just fine her. They issued a mandatory removal order. Because the pool deck blocked access to critical infrastructure, it had to go. Brenda tried to fight it. She hired lawyers, she cried at city council meetings. But the law is the law. The city threatened to come and remove it themselves and bill her triple the cost. 2 weeks later, the jackhammers returned. But this time, they weren't building, they were destroying. I sat on my back porch, sipping coffee, watching a crew tear up the $80,000 pool and patio. The noise was deafening, but to me it sounded like a symphony. Brenda ended up with $15,000 in city fines, the cost of the demolition, and a hole in her backyard filled with dirt. She resigned as HOA president shortly after due to stress. Oh, and the best part? While the inspector was there, he noticed her fence was 2 inches over the height limit for a corner lot. She had to tear that down too. I finally paid my $500 grass fine. I slipped the check into her mailbox with a note, "Sorry about the grass. I hope your yard meets code now."